Things I did in my 20s that I would never do in my 30s. The first one is smoke cigarettes. And yes, I smoked in my 20s. It wasn't like consistent smoking. It was kind of like those drunk cigs. And then I would also play around with smoking cigarettes in high school. You know, I thought it was cool. It wasn't. That is one thing I regret. I wish I never had touched a cigarette ever in my whole life. You will not catch me with a cigarette in my 30s. I would never touch one. I wish I didn't touch them in my 20s. I was never like addicted to them. I just thought they were fun. I thought they were cute. I thought it was a vibe, and it wasn't. Next one is binge drinking. I mean, I would do this all the time from like 18 to 24. For my 30s, drinking is just not nearly as fun. I'm not interested in it, and I like to be coherent whenever I go out. That's not to say I'll never have a drink again or never get drunk again, but consistent binge drinking is crazy. Going out, getting drunk, having fun with my friends, I don't regret any of that. As a matter of fact, I'm happy I did it because now in my 30s, I do not crave that lifestyle at all. Like I got that in, you know, I took advantage of my 20s. In my 30s, I'm not interested in the party. I'm interested in doing things to better myself. Next on my list is doing more than one activity a day. Baby, in my 20s, I had no pause button. I would just keep going and going and going. We could go to the river. We could go to the club. We could go to an after party all in one day. All in one day. In my 30s, you got me for one. We can do one and the club cannot be one of them. The older you get, the less energy you have. So the more things you do, the less fun that they are. Someone said being in your 30s is like getting in your bed after a really long day. And that was like the perfect description. I love my 30s more than any age I've ever been. The next one is acting off of emotion. So whenever I was in my 20s, y'all, if I got mad, I was gonna pop the fuck off. Right then, right there. No other thoughts, very concrete thinking. But in my 30s, I've just learned my lesson to feel my emotions, not control them, feel them, but give everything time. Like, don't act on emotion. That was a hard ass lesson to learn too, because listen, it's always gonna be easier to pop the fuck off. What I've learned is 9 times out of 10, whenever I've acted off of emotion, once I've calmed down, I regretted my actions. So in my 30s, if I feel like my emotions is heightened on a situation, I have to wait till I have calmed down to respond to a situation. 10 times out of 10, my response is always different. Next is telling everyone my damn business. Honey, if you were in a conversation with me and things were getting dry, I would tell you anything to keep that conversation going. And now I don't really care. I'm not telling you my business unless you are very close with me and I feel like telling that information. But even then, actually so much value in keeping your shit to yourself. And that was a hard lesson I learned in my 20s. And baby, in my 30s, I'm a little more of a vault. My last one is being around anyone and everyone just to keep me company. Honey, I am picky. I am so picky who's in my life. I feel like I had a little bit of this complex of like, also I could save crazy people. Like I was like, oh, you shouldn't judge them. I can save them. I can change them. Or just accept anyone and everyone into my life in my 20s. Big mistake. In my 30s, I am extremely, extremely picky.